So as usual, I want to talk about lighting today. Specifically, I want to talk about the placement of your key light when you're filming your videos. Now the key light is your main source of light. That's the light that's lighting my face right now. That's the light that's usually beside or behind the camera as you shoot. Right now I have my key light just off to the left, about 45 degrees, pointed down just to be out of the way of the camera, and it's hitting my face and it's giving me this tiny shadow on the side, but mostly filling my face. This is almost flat lighting, and this is what I typically use. This is what a lot of people use. This is the most common type of key light placement. What this does is it makes your subject's face clear, present, and in the middle. Gets rid of most of the blemishes because it's nice and head on, and it's just a flattering look, gives a tiny shape, and it's what everyone does. I'm gonna go through 4 different light placements for the key light, and they're gonna give you a different mood and different look. Depending on what you're shooting and why you're shooting it, these looks will give you that different vibe that you might be going for. So let's go through each of them one by one, and I'll show you an example without moving myself or anything else except the key light itself. We're gonna keep the exposure the same, we're gonna keep the camera settings the same, and it's just to see how the light hits the face on the different angles that we're choosing. The first key light placement we're gonna look at is flat lighting. This is where the camera is dead onto the face. There's no angle, there's nothing. It's straight on, even behind the camera, and it's facing me directly. That gives a very flattering light to the face, gets rid of a lot of imperfections, no shadows, and it gives you a really, really clean look. You see this a lot in model photography or magazine style stuff because you want it to be as flattering as possible. Now the problem with this for video is you don't get a lot of shape and you get a really flat image. To me, this makes it very uninteresting, and it's not something I've ever done and probably will never do unless somebody asks me for it. The second placement for the key light is what's going to be called Rembrandt lighting. And that's where you place your key light just off to the side enough to give you a triangle shape of light on the opposite side of the face. Now it's called Rembrandt lighting based on Rembrandt's paintings. Rembrandt is a Renaissance painter, and all of his paintings had that particular light shape on their face, or most of them anyways. And it's just a nice little nod to him. But this look gives you the classic look, and this happens a lot. It gives you a lot of shape to the face, it's really pleasing on the eye, and it gives you a real good 3D pop. Third placement is a really good way to get a nice dynamic image, and you get a lot of shadow and a lot of light, and it's very good for a specific use case. This lighting is called side lighting, and this is where the key light is on either the left or the right side of the face, usually at 90 degrees, and it's a very harsh angle. What you get normally is half the face fully lit, almost a solid line, and then dark. This look is really creative, and it's good for documentary work, or if you're trying to make someone seem good and then maybe bad, or if you just want something interesting to look at. Now the last placement we're gonna look at today is top-down lighting. That's where your light is directly above the subject, and it gives you some really harsh, really sinister looking shadows. This is a Godfather look, or a look you'd want to use if you want to portray someone as being in the shadows, tucked away, just evil in presence. It's not the most flattering look, but it provides a very unique light to the face. These are just some common placements for key lights. You can literally do whatever you want. That's the beauty of video and being creative, is you can literally do whatever you want. Now this is just a one light setup, and you can use more lights, different scenarios to make this look even more interesting. This is just one piece of the puzzle. As a bonus, I'm gonna show you what this light looks like with some bounce. Bounce is just a piece of reflective material, white in this case, that's gonna add some light on the opposite side of where the key light is showing. So let's jump back to the first lighting, flat lighting, and we're gonna put a light underneath to get rid of even more shadows. This will create the flattest look possible, but should get rid of a lot of blemishes and imperfections in the skin. Here's the bounce on the Rembrandt lighting. Typically you wouldn't use this with Rembrandt lighting because you want that very specific triangle, but when you add it, you kind of fill the face a little bit, and it's a little more pleasing, and it kind of gets closer to the flat look. A great use of a bounce is in side lighting. Because you have that harsh shadow on the one side, the bounce will eliminate it a little bit and give you a little more fill. This is nice because you can control it a little more and get a nice, clean, even image. I don't usually do top-down lighting, so this isn't a really specific use case for myself, but here's trying to bounce the light back a little bit from the top down. You could even angle the light a little farther back, almost giving you a backlight, and then bounce it forwards. Thanks again for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, and have a good one.